they would match up on any slide deck today for record hits for the year. We've had 40 metres at above 4%, 50 metres at 3%. So that sorts to unlock what is across the balance of the project. And if we can produce those numbers, it will get exciting very, very quickly.
Welcome to those tuning in to the Assay TV, where we're winding down on day one of our mining investment event, Cape Town. I'm delighted to be joined by Troy Whittaker, the Managing Director of Whitecliff Minerals. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you very much. Pleased to be here.
So the last time we spoke, I think, was in Singapore. So can you give us a quick recap of Whitecliff for any unfamiliar viewers?
So Whitecliff, obviously based down there on the Australian Stock Exchange, operate under the code WCN. Real priority is two projects in northern Canada there. We've got the Great Bear project focused on IOCG and a little bit of U there in Northwest Territories. And then we've got a fairly prospective copper project over there in Nunavut.
Let's get into the Rae Copper Project then. You're fully permitted and ready to go, I believe. So what's 100%. The strategy there? So
last week we got our final permits through. So that's sort of 6 to 8 months in the making, which is a fairly remarkable timeframe. So fully permitted, we're going through the final stages now of finalising some of our drill targets, getting contractors lined, and then we'll be marching towards site, in early March. And it's sort of been one of those things that you join a company and all you want to do is get out there and drill, and we're getting very close, and some of those targets are starting to look pretty juicy.
And not only that, you also acquired some claims close to the Rae Copper Project. What does that mean for the project?
So we acquired Danvers, which is just to the south of the main body there at Rae. And that's a really interesting prospect. It has a historic resource on there of just a bit more than 4 million tonnes, just shy of 3% copper. So in today's money there, that's almost $1.5 billion in the ground of ore value. And it's interesting that, if you look in and around the area, up in the north in that sedimentary structure, there is a proof of concept hole which shows the hypothesis around sedimentary copper. But then as you come into some of that higher grade volcanic mineralisation that you see throughout the project, and we've had rock chips 60%, 62, 64, so astronomical grades of copper, but no one's ever actually done any tangible drilling there. And so this one just south of that, in an area which shows similar mineralisation, limited drilling, but we've seen results there. I mean, 4 million tonnes at 3%, is a pretty decent cut-off grade just to start off. But then as you start digging into some of the intersections they had, they would match up on any slide deck today for, record hits for the year. We've had 40 metres at above 4%, 50 metres at 3%. So, that sorts to unlock what is across the balance of the project. And if we can produce those numbers, it will get exciting very, very quickly.
The first movers there, not a bad place to be, is it?
Well, look, on that particular thing, we were the first movers. Everyone has now staked around us at Rae. Yeah. So we're first in. We've got the best ground, obviously. First in, best dress. And now, certainly there's quite a bit of interest all around us.
Well, we can't only talk about Rae. You also have your Great Bear copper, gold, silver and uranium project. What's the update there?
So Great Bear is sort of, the priority absolutely is Rae. Great Bear, funnily enough, when the two projects came in, they're only a month or two apart. Great Bear was the priority. And it was only when we landed at Rae and saw those results come back, we sort of pivoted across. But if you look at Great Bear, our results from there, again, copper above 40%, which in its own right is, put Rae aside, would still be topping all of the results around the world. In that same mineralisation, though, you're looking at gold up to 30 grams a tonne, silver 700 grams a tonne. And there was actually, one of the targets over there at Great Bear produced silver results, which were upwards of 7.5%. That's world record territory. So, it is still a fantastic place to be, the Great Bear. And, at the same time as we ran electromagnetic survey over the Rae project, we did it over at Great Bear as well. And we had someone else look at that and interrogate those results. And I think probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, you'll actually start to see some results coming back from that. And we look to sort of, solidify where we go next, where we go there next, which maybe after Rae will go have a look down there.
Been busy, been very busy.
It will be very busy.
And obviously all of these things cost a pretty penny. How well financed are we as we move through to 2025?
Well, look, we are certainly in a better place than since we last spoke. We have a very strong and supportive shareholder base. Back in October, led by our major shareholder, a guy by the name of John Hancock, which I'm sure everyone knows that last name. He cornerstoned a raise of $5 million above market. It was a premium to closing price. So we've got $5 million in the tin. We've got about $1 million worth of liquid investments as well. So coming into a campaign which begins in March, we're fully funded and ready to go.
Excellent. And well, to round this interview up, can you name some highlights for our investors to look out for in the coming months?
It'll be an exciting couple of months, that's for sure. I think coming through the course of Feb, you'll see an announcement around, contractors being mobilised, making sure it's the right people, right task going to that northern Canada. We'll finalise what those drill targets look like, where we're going. The priority will be the Hulk, the sedimentary structure up in the north, and obviously Danvers, where there's exciting results. And then from there, the plan is somewhere in that first half of March, we start mobilising towards site. If you're doing that, you're drilling by the end of March and assay shortly thereafter.
Well, looking forward to reading that news flow. Thank
Cheers.
you so much for spending some time with us today. Enjoy the rest of your event.
Cool. Thank you very much. Cheers.